Tiny Tina's Wonderlands easily has the most exhausting platinum trophy I have yet to do on this channel. For a game that only takes like 30 hours to platinum, I gotta say I was feeling very much not awesome sauce by the end of it. The game has 39 trophies including the platinum, so let's just get right into it. First thing I did was spend 20 whole minutes customizing here Black Quavius, which I honestly think is the only point in the game where I didn't feel like I was wasting time. Oh, and to make this game more bearable, I invited my friend Liam, who also made a character just as, or possibly even more chopped than that one Omegle girl that's been going around. But yeah, in this game you're basically playing through the perspective of your board game pieces, just like that actually good Tina DLC in Borderlands 2 if you've played it. The game starts us out with the general combat tutorial just like literally every game ever, and after killing many skeletons and saving some peasant-ass peasants, we slid into a cave like a black guy slides into a snow bunny's DMs and picked up our first scroll, which gave us the first trophy of this godforsaken game. We then beat this laughably easy boss fight called Ribula and got another trophy for beating the first quest of the game. Shortly after that we traveled to the overworld, which is in fact a game board if you couldn't tell, which is kind of a cool idea in theory, but if we're being real, it was just an excuse for Gearbox to cheap out on the rest of the game's level design. Winding out of the way though, during one of these poopy encampment encounter thingies, I got a cosmetic item and redeemed it for a trophy. Less than 5 minutes later, I got another trophy for punching an encounter before it starts, and with that, it was time to take back Brighthoof, which is basically just the sanctuary slash safe place of this game. During our battle, Liam and I purposely went down in order to get a death save from a badass enemy, which gave us the Reversal of Fate's trophy. We then get introduced to Paladin Mike, who is actually Lorelei from Borderlands 3, but with the shitty pube stash that looks like my nutsack shavings glued onto her upper lip. Anyways, we busted through this gate to Brighthoof where our objective was to just break the siege catapult thingies, and during this Liam went down like a fucking idiot, so I humped him back to life for another trophy. We then got to catapult ourselves towards the next area, which is honestly where this game peaks. Yeah, it literally doesn't get any more fun than this. But yeah, we eventually broke the siege for a trophy, and our new objective was to get the Sword of Souls, which brought us to this graveyard where we pretty much just had to have this wild goose chase for Zomboss. And no, not Plants vs. Zombies Zomboss. You really thought you were niche making that connection, didn't you? But yeah, we obviously end up fighting Zomboss because, you know, Zomboss. We killed her extremely easily and obtained the Sword of Souls just as quickly. Using the Sword of Souls, we restored Brighthoof to its former awesomeness. Our victory was short-lived though, because Dragonlord, who's the main villain of this game, absolutely fucking fucked up Butt Stallion. But on the bright side, we got the Short Rain trophy. Get it? Short Rain? Horses? Immediately after that, I got another trophy for completing a trade with another player, and it was now time to set sail. Or not. Damn. Well, now we gotta go to Deep Wild Dankness to find everybody's favorite, probably Borderlands character, Torg. We pretty much need him because the plan is to enchant one of those same ships you just watched Liam pass away on with Torg's blessings or whatever. So as we were helping Torg repair his magic instrument thingy to enchant our ship with, I hit level 10, which also happens to be our 10th trophy. Eventually, we met Tippy Tappy Punchy Magoo or whatever the fuck Brick's name is in this game, and he fixed Torg's instrument, which gave us a trophy for finishing the quest. It was now time to blow up the freaking ocean! If there's one thing this game did right, it was not changing Torg in any way. I take back what I said earlier about the catapult being peak. This scene, where the ocean gets absolutely nuked, is my actual favorite part of the game. Oh, and also, trophy. The following missions have us playing in this dried up ass ocean, where we had to like fight some pirate skeletons so that we could cross what's left of the ocean. Although the maps we got to play in was kinda cool, the pirate section was pretty pointless to the story from what I can tell if I'm being honest, so I'm just gonna sum it up pretty quick starting now. We built a robot parrot for some reason, had a roast battle with some skeletons, blew up some disrespectful pirates' blimps to convince them back into our crew, captured a ship and proceeded to fight the boss called LeChance, who quite literally died in like 20 seconds, and we got a trophy for finishing that quest. Alright, we're now in the deep dark abyss or whatever it's called, and we met up with this weird snake who literally immediately called us Smoothskin, which is apparently a slur in this game, so that chained into a series of dialogue where we all started getting offended at her snake racism. So Tina said the next person to say the skin word gets spontaneously combusted or whatever. This is important later. Later being now because Booyashi just said the smooth skin word. Guys, I'm gonna be so real. This game's story is so unbelievably bad, like it's actually impossible to script this shit. I'm gonna keep trying my best for you cuties, but just know I barely know what's going on anymore. Anyways, after the weird snake lady dies, Tina gets upset because that was her favorite character, so out of anger she deploys the coolest boss fight of the game. This boss had a couple phases that were all literally the exact same, and just like every other boss in this game, it was super easy, but yeah, here's a trophy for defeating him. And then a few minutes later, I hit level 20 for another one, and like 2 minutes later, we cleared out our 10th encampment, which is basically just more pointless encounters for another trophy. Now that those trophies are out of the way, Liam and I spent a couple hours just doing side shit, because this game unfortunately makes you underleveled mighty fast. But speaking of being underleveled, as I hit level 22, I got the Bursting Pockets trophy for accumulating 100,000 total gold. Alrighty, continuing with the story, we met up with Wastard, who I'm pretty sure is that one black cowboy guy from Borderlands 3, but I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, he basically needs our help help to become undead. Not like a zombie or whatever, like he wants his body back type of undead. So in order to do that, we had to find this purple relic thingy to allow us to bring things back to life, then fight the soul that's currently in the Wastard's body as a boss fight, where upon defeating him I got a trophy for finding an enchanted legendary weapon in the wild, and another one for getting the Wastard's body back. Alrighty, we're now in the last sort of area of the overworld, which of course means that we're almost done with this poopy excuse of a story. So after a bunch of leveling up and whatnot, we traveled to the outer gate of the pyramid, where the end of the game drew near. We first had to get through like 3 barriers, which were literally just filler, and no, that's not me whining. The in-game dialogue literally said that this was so Tina could play the game with us longer. Anyways, we eventually encountered Butt Stallion, but not the one we remember. This one is a boss fight, and her name is Nightmare. Get it? Nightmare? Nightmare? I'm going insane. As cool as this boss looks, it was pretty underwhelming. It seems to be common for bosses to have multiple phases that are no different from each other in this game. With the Nightmare defeated and our penises slightly erect, we see a flashback of Tina learning how to play Dungeons and Dragons with someone who sounded very much like everyone's favorite chocolate tsunami, Roland, and got a trophy for completing that quest. Alright, we're now at the last mission of the story, which is a perfect time for you to comment hip hip hooray in the comments if you made it this far, and to also like and subscribe, of course. But yeah, so this mission is actually just the same as the last one. Tina continues to make up random shit for us to destroy in order to prolong the campaign, which we of course do because we have to, and we were now face to face with the Dragon Dildo Lord himself. For the first time in this game, it was actually a pretty tough boss fight, probably because he was 6 levels above us, but ignore that. This boss kind of bounces between shooting him and his dragon with the occasional spectral dragon thingies that literally instantly kill you and is super cancer. But after having to retry the boss fight once, we managed to take the Dragon Lord down and recover the Sword of Souls, which we used to bring back the legendary Butt Stallion. With that, we kneeled before Butt Stallion, got knighted, and got a trophy for completing the story. I gotta say, for such a mid-game, it was a pretty happy ending. But with the story complete, we have many trophies left to unlock. The first post-story trophy being Keep on Rollin' for enchanting an item in the blacksmith. We then ventured around the overworld, completing the rest of the dungeons we needed, and if you're wondering what these are, they're literally just combat encounters but with extra waves. But yeah, here's the trophy. Right after that, Liam and I cheesed the grindiest trophies of the game. Liam basically just went on the PC account that we previously platinumed this game on a year or so ago and transferred all the gold to me, which unlocked me a trophy for having 1,000,000 coins, which I then used to purchase the final tier of an inventory upgrade, and buying every individual inventory upgrade as well. My heart goes out to the poor souls working on this trophy right now, because it's no joke. During the Walk the Stalk questline, I managed to hit level 30 for another trophy. Speaking of the questlines, these are basically class's major side quests, and you get a trophy for completing each and every one of them. After finishing all the major side quests, we moved on to the standard boring ones, and eventually got another trophy for completing 20 of them. Oh, and we're gonna have to do all of these, by the way. But we didn't really want to do that just yet, so we decided to do the Chaos Chamber related trophies first. The Chaos Chamber is a series of challenging encounters that always ends with a boss fight and a bunch of loot, along with unlocking higher difficulties. We got our first trophy of this little streak just for completing our first Chaos Chamber run, and got 2 more shortly after for getting our luck stat to 3,000 and hitting max level 40. And after grinding chambers for about 2 hours, we got 2 more trophies for reaching Chaos 10 and Chaos 20. We then spent 10 hours in one day in order to get every side quest done. This was absolutely horrific, and I'd rather gargle septic tank water than do this shit again. But anyways, here's the all side quest trophy and the platinum that did not properly pop directly after. So that's Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. It was absolutely horrible, and I don't recommend this game to anyone. But I do recommend liking and subscribing so you can follow along with my platinum trophy hunting journey. Bye bye.